is Lauren with I Teach Teachers Tech, and I am excited to show a new template that I have created for teachers to take their take their rubrics and create rubrics for each one of your students in a couple of different ways to make tracking progress easier and more efficient. So this is the Mastery Rubric template. The first time that you get ready to run the script, it is going to ask you to authorize. So you're going to come up and do rubric, the Mastery Rubric menu, and we're going to create the rubric, and it's going to tell you authorize required. I promise you, I've scripted this myself. There's nothing funky in here. I'm just not submitting this to the Google App Store for all that fun stuff. So it'll tell you that the app has been verified. It's completely safe. So we're going to click Advanced, and then we're going to go to the Mastery the Mastery Rubric template. I am struggling with words today. So now we are ready to use the template. So the first thing that you're going to do is you're going to come over to the setup page or the setup sheet, and you're going to add your student names. And just for time's sake, I'm just going to add a couple of students here. Then you're going to come to the rubric template, and you're either going to copy and paste in your rubric, or you can create it right here. I would encourage you to try out the rubric builders through tools like Magic School AI and EduAid AI, or even have a generic chatbot like ChatGPT help you write your rubrics. That just speeds up the process and again makes us more efficient. So once you have either generated your template here or copied and pasted it in, I've just used two. These are reading literature 2.1 and 2.2 and some blah, blah, blahs. So we're going to come back up to our menu and we're going to create our rubric. And what this is going to do is it's going to add some drop-down menus that once we have created these for our individual students, we'll be able to just very quickly give the rating per criteria here. And that just makes it'll make it super easy to read. So once we've done that, then we're going to come back and we are going to decide, do we want to share this rubric for each of our students as a sheet in this file, meaning every student will get their own little tab across the bottom, or do we want to create it so that every student is going to get their own workbook file? So let's start with every student gets a sheet in this workbook. So we're going to choose this, and then what it's going to do is it's going to run the script, and it's going to find all of the students that we added their names here on the setup page, and it's going to add a template for them. And so I can just click on the template, and then this is where I can begin using this and very quickly see with the color coding where my students are in terms of their mastery. If I ever need to come back and decide that I want to look at some other success criteria or some other standards, I can do the same thing. I can add those here. You have to have some kind of performance indicator descriptors in order to run the script. So make sure that you add those in there. And then what we're going to do is we're going to come up and we're going to update the rubric. And so that's going to give us our drop-down menus. And then we are going to push these updates to the rubrics that we had already created for our students. So when I come back here, I can see that those have been added to our student rubrics. So that's pretty much all there is to using the rubric template with students, creating a tab at the bottom for each one of your students. Next, we're going to take a look at how to create workbooks for each student that will be housed in a Google Drive. So I have deleted out those sheets that were created in this template. The way that the script works is that you have to choose one or the other because if you do both and you start to push the updates, then they're not going to push to where they need to go. So you will have to make that decision right at the beginning. So let's now look at using the template to create a new rubric for each student in a different workbook. So I've already created my rubric, and now I am ready to choose a new workbook per student. So I'm going to go ahead and click that. When you do that, what you'll notice on the setup sheet is that you've got some new columns here, and the script needs 2 pieces of information from you. It needs to know what do you want to name the Google Drive folder. So let's just say that I'm a 2nd grade ELA teacher, and so I'm going to name this my ELA Mastery Rubrics. That's going to be my overall parent folder. And then I need to tell it how I want to name my student files. So the way the script is written right now is that it's going to pull the student's first name as the first word in the file. So what do you want that to be followed with? Well, I'm going to name it pretty much the same thing that I named the folder. So this will be Paul ELA Mastery Rubric, Lauren ELA Mastery Rubric. Once I have given it these 2 pieces of information, I can now come back up to the menu and I can actually create those new workbooks. What you'll notice is that it's going to create the Google Drive folder for me, and it links it right back to this Google Workbook file. That way I have quick access, as well as quick access to my student sheets. So this is what your student sheets will look like. Maybe. Here we go. So you can see the rubric here. But what if I want to add some new standards? What if we're moving on to reading information, and I want to make sure that I am able to track their mastery on these standards? Again, you have to have some text here for the script to run correctly. So I'm going to come back and I'm going to update my rubric again. And I'm going to then push those updates to those spreadsheets that I created for my students. As soon as it tells me that the script has finished running, we can go and we can check those student worksheets. All right, I'm not sure why it's still saying running script, because when I come in here and I check, I can see that those have been added. So we can go ahead and click cancel on that because everything's already there. All right, the last thing that I want to show you is that you have the ability, if you choose to share these individual workbooks back with the students. So let's say that I know that I have been working with Lauren very closely, or we're getting ready to have a parent-teacher conference and I want Lauren to be able to pull up her Mastery rubric so that we can talk through it. So what I can do is I can add in Lauren's email address here and then go back to student rubrics and share the workbooks. So I can always check to see that it has shared. I can just open up Lauren's notebook, and if I have the icon with the little people here and not the lock, I know that it has been shared. So very fun template, does lots of things for you. You can always come back and update and customize and push those updates. I would love to hear your thoughts on this template, and if you purchase it and use it, please, please, please keep in touch and let me know how it works for you. Thank you, and I hope you have a great day.